G'day guys, welcome back. It's been a couple of days since I filmed last, but I've been working on the car every single day and every single night after work. It's finally all painted. I've got brand new front windscreen. The rear brakes are on, brand new rear windscreen. I've put most of the trim back together. It's all dirty today, we had a bit of a dust storm, but all the back of the car's put together. You can see black Honda badges, looks sick. The trim's all put back in. All the door cards, obviously I've got to give it a detail. You can see here where it's two-toned, the green, the old colour, and there I wasn't worried about what the inside is like, because once you're inside the car and you shut the doors, you can't see that anyway. But there was one fail. I managed to break a clip on the back driver's side passenger door handle, but I thought, you know, who cares, the inside door handle's going to work fine. I'll just open it from the inside till I order a new clip and fix that down the track. But I owned myself by accidentally flipping on the child lock and then closing the door, so now the door doesn't open because the child lock's on and the outside handle is missing a clip. So I don't know how I'm going to get that out. I'm considering pulling out this piece here and then getting some wire and maybe sticking in there and flicking the switch for myself, and then that should work fine, I reckon. Actually, I might even be able to rip that out. Yeah, I should be able to get some wire or a coat hanger in there. Front door trim's on, gauge cluster's back in. I've replaced the globes on that. Windows are in, 6x9s are in. That looks beautiful. They were just done today. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some sneak peeks at some things that are upcoming in some future episodes. Just to let you know, this isn't a painting only channel, because that's really boring. I've got some decals for the sides of the doors here. I've got some aftermarket LED indicators, but I'm going to put the orange ones in just for now to get the car registered. I don't want anyone having anything to pick on me about. Brand new headlights, LED indicators, LED headlights. They're actually cheaper than buying the actual globes retail. I got them off eBay, of course. So that should be good. One problem I am having is with the brakes. These Phillips head screws here, on the rear of the car, they came straight out, but on the front, no matter what I do, I cannot get those undone. I've tried some penetrating lube, or possum piss as we call it in Australia. I've tried an impact screwdriver. I've tried a regular screwdriver and hitting it and turning it, and obviously the first thing I tried was a normal screwdriver. So I'm probably just going to drill those out. I've ordered new screws. I'll drill those out and break them off and then pull the threads out and, you know, do things the hard way, but they probably haven't been changed in over a decade at least. Here's a couple of the things that I'm going to do next on the channel. So, leather wrap steering wheel kit. So that will, it's pleather, but it stitches on and it looks really nice from what I've seen. I have the world's cheapest coilovers. So they're going to go into the car. I've seen a couple of other reviews on these and they seem to work really, really well, and for the price, ridiculous. I paid a bit extra and got the adjustable ones just cause they were so cheap. Alloy radiator, half size, with a thermo fan and a fan shroud. Now, a full set of 4 coilovers, an alloy radiator with a fan shroud and a fan, plus new headlights, all shipped from all over the world, America, parts of Asia. All of that cost me under $500 for coilovers and an alloy radiator, and headlights cost less than $500 delivered. So that's just a bargain. This is why these cars are so popular, I suppose, because you can just get everything for them. So loving life on those. Those look a million times better than the genuine lights, plus obviously they're brand new and not faded, so that's a win. They do come without the parking light LEDs, so I've just tucked those behind here, so they're going to illuminate my new alloy radiator and behind the grille. Might look cool, might look a bit ricery, but got to put them somewhere, and I put some LED globes in there as well, so that all works. But yeah, just to let you guys know, it's not just a painting channel. The last thing I have to do on painting is just to buff the rear bar. Fog lights are in, they're all wired up, they work awesome. You would have seen one of the last updates, that came out really well. So I'm just going to buff that. I haven't painted or fitted the front lip yet, but I'll do that later. I just want to take a break from painting and sanding and bogging. It's just, I don't know how panel beaters do this for a living, but I guess that's why there's a difference between painters and panel beaters. And as you can see by my pants, got white stuff all over my pants from buffing and cutting compound and all that sort of stuff. So today's going to be the last time I do that, and then the bar's going on there. I'm probably not going to cut and buff the front lip spoiler. With any luck, the car's going to be so slammed that that's going to get chewed out anyway. I've ordered wheels. I got the world's cheapest deal on a set of rims for the car. I'm pretty happy with my purchase there. I was tossing up between a few different kinds, and then I got a voucher on eBay which made them ridiculously cheap for a full set. So I'm gonna have those in the next sort of week to 10 days. They're a bit bigger and a bit wider, but they're not huge. It's not hectic 20s or anything, but they're a few inches bigger, so that should look awesome. Fill the guards out nicely. A bit wider, a bit more aggressive offset. So yeah, things are coming along really well. I'm really happy with the progress, and I'll keep posting videos and show you how I go. But thanks for watching. There'll be a couple of other bits and pieces in this video of the car back together or me doing different things. I'm going to try and fit those. That's what I didn't show you. The rear trailing arm bushes, I've got to replace those because that's a common thing with Hondas. They all clap out, so I've got to replace those before registration. Otherwise, just a matter of putting it back together. Wheels and tyres, change the front brakes. I'm not going to put the radiator or the coilovers in for rego because it's just going to have the people that are doing the inspection scratching their heads and why this car has a racing thick alloy radiator and some crazy suspension in it. I'm just going to keep that all stock standard, and hopefully the shocks aren't blown on the car. They don't look blown, there's no oil leaks, and it doesn't bounce around or make any noises, so I should be fine to get through rego with those. And then it's on to performance mods, so stick with me. Today I'm just doing a few odd jobs. One of those is fitting the rear brake discs. So I went ahead and I purchased a set of front and rear dimpled and slotted rotors for the car. So all the way around, dimpled and slotted rotors. I got the two sets for $200, so $100 a pair, which I thought was a bargain. I'm going to use the brake pads that the previous owner provided for me. So brand new set of brake pads. I'm not putting anything special or fancy in here because I just need these to pass rego. They should be fine when I do my all-wheel drive conversion to keep them, because the disc brakes on this are quite good. So it's just a small upgrade, just some fresh rotors, sorry, new pads, and yeah, it should stop like brand new. Again, it's not an upgrade, I don't think. These just keep the brake pads clean, and the dimples, they just wipe the surface of the pad, so it keeps it nice and clean and smooth when you're braking over and over. So, and these are just basic standard run-of-the-mill brake pads. They're nothing fancy. When we go to upgrade power, I'll change over the brake pads to something a lot more high temp, so we've got some stopping power. I've went ahead and painted part of the rear caliper assembly. I didn't do the whole thing because I want to do a good job, so I didn't want to pull off all the brake lines and all the cables, pull it apart, then have to bleed the brakes again from scratch. So I just left that. I just did this because I was a bit bored. But yeah, you can see here's the old rotors. They've been sitting for many, many months. There's nothing wrong with surface rust on it. You know, a quick drive around the block and a few hard stops and that clears up, but there is actually a lip on the edge of that, so I'd have to get those machined. To machine the brakes all the way around, it's probably going to be, you know, $10 to $20 per rotor to get them machined. So for $100, I've got brand new, nice and thick, plenty of meat on the rotor, plus the dimples and the slots. Now, just a note, I've cleaned all the oil off this, so I wanted to spray all the brake cleaner away from my fresh paint job, so I didn't want to get any splashes of that on my fresh paint, so that's why I'm not doing it now. I've already cleaned it, dried it, wiped it twice, so that's all ready to go. Tools you'll need for this is a brake caliper. You can see in there there's a little star, like a plus sign. A brake caliper tool to twist that around, because the handbrakes on these screw in, and then when you hit the brakes it screws out, so it's sort of like that motion. A 14mm to crack the bolts that hold the bracket on, which is the one that goes here, the one that I painted, and a Phillips head screwdriver to put these bad boys in, which hold the rotors to the hub. Now, I don't have that brake caliper tool for that, so a tip that I learned off a Honda mechanic was to shove a flathead in there and just twist it nice and slowly, and that should still spin the screw on the brake caliper, so that should work. I'm going to give that a go. And yeah, just a small odd job today, so I'll get to it. Okay guys, so those of you with the Hawkeyes are going to notice that the slots on the passenger side are facing a different direction to the slots on the driver's side. Now, brake rotors that have slots in them have directional flow. They're meant to be even and they're meant to face the same way. There's a bit of debate on which way you should face them, whether you want them to aggressively bite into your pads or not, or whether you just want them to clean them the face as they're supposed to. I've done it both ways on numerous cars of mine, and I told myself I was getting more rear brake bias by turning the fins this way or the slots this way, but probably didn't make any difference at all. But yeah, I got sent two of the same side, so two lefts or two rights, whichever way it was. So now this side, on the passenger side, is the slots are facing forward, and on the driver's side they're kicking back. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think it's going to make really any difference for what I'm using the car for, but we'll see. For $100, it's still a bargain, even if I think it was about $70 or $80 for a pair of just standard rotors. So for an extra $20, I got the dimpled and slotted ones. They look pretty fully hectic, and I'm sure they'll keep the pads nice and clean. As I said, it's not a racing upgrade. The car is still the 1.6 for now. I will eventually upgrade the pads and upgrade to braided brake lines. As you can see, those ones are pretty manky. But yeah, should be good. I'll let you know how I go. I don't think it's going to make much difference, but yeah, I just noticed that when I was putting them on. So 10 points if you noticed. Well done. Okay guys, so just wanted to film quickly before I put the covers on. I've gone ahead and replaced all the speakers on the car. So these are just replacing the factory 6x9s. These are a set of Fusion 310 watt 6x9s. I'm not a huge car audio buff, but I am a huge music buff. So the ones that were in there were paper cone. They had holes in them. They were cracked. They were a dual cone, and they're about, I think, 60 watts in the back. So 60 watts to 310 watts and a three-way. So that should sound a lot better. For the front doors, I got a set of two-way Kenwood 6-inch 300 watt speakers. I got the front speakers for $40 delivered, including freight, or maybe it was $35, can't remember. And the rear speakers I got for $50, including freight, so freight free off eBay. So not a huge upgrade by car audio standards, but a huge upgrade for this old girl. And yeah, something to drown out that exhaust drone down the track when I'm trying to cruise and just, you know, listen to some tunes. I'll end up upgrading the head unit to something that does Bluetooth and stuff later on, but just wanted to show you that while it's apart. I'm going to put the parcel tray back on because glass is coming tomorrow, so that's exciting. As you remember, I Hadoukened out the back window, so that was a bit of fun, but the boot is full of glass, so that's going to be fun to clean up. But yeah, I'll get to that, and I'll put this in and we'll stitch that bit up and cross that off the list of things to do. I wonder if they'd let me drive the car around registered as a Del Sol and just leave it like this. Windows out, parcel tray pumping the tunes, Del Sol style. It's pretty cool. World first, baby!